Welcome back to ESPN Radio. I'm here with my co-host James Spector and Alex, and today we're going to be talking about their World Series predictions. You guys can call in at 351-201-3484. James, you want to start us off with your predictions?
Yeah, so I think for the AL, I think the Texas Rangers are going to the World Series. I don't think it's close, really. I think with this new addition of Max Scherzer, who was lights out last night, by the way, if anyone saw that game. He was amazing. He was unbelievable. So I think he's going to really shut it down for them starting. Also, I think an overlooked guy is Dane Dunning. He's a really good pitcher. He's been really consistent this season, so I think he's going to continue to play that way. He's going to stay hot, and he's going to keep it going. And then they have Aroldis Chapman coming out of the bullpen. He's going to close a bunch of games for them, get a bunch of saves. So I think the Rangers are going for the AL. And then for the NL, I'm going to say the Atlanta Braves. And I honestly don't think that's close. I think it's a pretty obvious pick there. I think, with Acuna, who's having an unreal season, historic season even. You got Matt Olson leading the MLB in home runs. So, yeah, I think the Braves the NL. And I think that's going to be a good matchup.
Two key people I'm not sure if you mentioned was Marcus Semien and Corey Seager for the Rangers. Two big pieces on the offensive side, along with Adolis Garcia. So they do also have a solid offense around in Texas.
Yeah.
What about you?
I agree with the NL. I do think the Braves will definitely make it to the World Series. They have great offensive and defensive talent. Their pitching is incredible. Acuna's having a historic season. They have Albies, Matt Olson, and other guys. I think they will definitely make the World Series. And then in the AL, I think the Orioles will make it. They are a young team. While they do still have leaders in Kyle Gibson and James McCann, they are an incredibly young team. They have great coaches, great pitching staff. Their bullpen is phenomenal. They have guys like Kyle Gibson, Grayson Rodriguez, Felix Bautista, and then on the mound. But then behind the plate, in the field, they have guys like Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, and Jorge Mateo and Cedric Mullins. So I definitely think they'll make it.
Here's we have a caller, Michael from Baltimore. Michael?
This question is for Alex. I'm from Baltimore. I'm an Orioles fan, right? So I'm excited about the Orioles this year. This is one of the best years we've had in a long time. But let me ask you this. The series we just had last week at home against the Astros, we lost that series. Now, obviously it's one series. Nothing to be completely alarmed about. But you look at that game on Tuesday night with the Orioles. They were up 6-2, and then the Astros came back. Kyle Tucker hit a grand slam. Felix Bautista, as a matter of fact, choked in that game. If we do something like that in the playoffs, we cannot compete, and there's a really good chance we're going to be facing the Astros in the playoffs. How do you think this young squad can actually perform in the playoffs?
I think their coaching staff will definitely push them through. They have a great manager. They have also, once again, leaders like Kyle Gibson and James McCann, who will definitely show adversity and help the younger guys like Rutschman and Henderson push through. It is one loss. I don't think that'll really affect them that much in the playoffs. If they lose one game, it's not the end of the world. I do, however, do not think that the Astros will make it out of the wild card. I think they'll lose in the wild card, so that will not be a big issue. I also think that with the Orioles possibly playing the Astros in the playoffs, the Astros have been battered by injury, so they're nowhere near as good this year. But I do think they will have tough. It'll be tough making it there with their young team, but I think they could definitely do it.
And that is all for today, and we'll be back tomorrow at around 1 p.m. If you'd like to call in tomorrow, remember the number is 351-201-3484. James, Alex, Cormac, CSPN Radio.